Hello, I'm Beth Reaves, the Director of Admissions and Advancement at Friends School, and I'm going to speak now about the state of the school, looking at the student's perspective. You had an opportunity perhaps to hear from Bill Kerrigan, the clerk of our board, who spoke on the big picture, and Bruce Haynes, our current head of school, who talked about the larger picture of the school right now. I'm going to look at the school from the perspective of a child's experience in the classroom. Really, as parents, we recognize how critical that is to you. And what I find is that a daily journey through Friends School Mullica Hill reveals that Friends School provides an important foundation for children, and the important things that we teach have remained consistent since the school's founding. I recently came across a school brochure from 1969, and when I look through it, it really does highlight for me that the things that we teach are the solid underpinnings of the school, and that has remained strong and consistent since the school's founding. For example, one of the important values is that we all have gifts to nurture. This page in the brochure actually says, it's safe to come out of hiding at Friends School because we know some of the time all of us dream, play games, brush our teeth, study, spelling, get very angry, need kisses, dance, think about God, laugh, grow, and change. This really important value remains the same today. We're really a school that looks to nurture and develop each student uniquely. We challenge those who need the challenge, allow more time and support for those who need it as well. That was important at the time that the school was founded, and it's really something that remains important to our 21st century learners. All children are not the same. They really shouldn't be taught the same. Our small class size allows our teachers to differentiate instruction in the classroom, and that's important to really meeting each child's individual learning needs. If we take it a step further and delve deeper now into the school by looking inside our classrooms, we see that so many important skills are being worked on every day. These are just a few examples of things that go on in our classrooms. I'm sure our teachers would be happy at any time to share additional specifics with the things that are going on in their classrooms. I'm just going to talk about three areas right now. In reading and language arts, the focus is on building solid skills for our students. And this is an example from first grade. They studied fables in the fall, so they did read fables. They had their fables read to them by their teacher. They then went on to make their own play. They memorized the lines, they made the props, and they actually ended up performing a fable play. Through this complete unit of study, they actually solidified their own skills and learned a lot about a specific genre of literature. It was a much deeper experience for them than if they had just simply had the fables read to them in the classroom and moved on to something else. In our math curriculum, the focus is on math skill development and critical thinking. Through the advanced math program, students are able to take on additional challenges are paced accordingly. Critical thinking, however, is not just isolated to math and science. It's actually explored across a wide range of classroom instruction, such as social studies. This is an example from our 5th grade classroom. In Teacher Peter's social studies classes, the 5th grade study the map of the U.S. In 6th grade, they study a map of the world. At the end of the school year, they're expected to recreate a map of the world in 6th grade from memory, and in 5th grade, they're expected to recreate a map of the United States. What you see here is a 5th grader working on her salt dough map of the U.S. She's actually forming the United States with her hands with the salt dough. This concrete hands-on project gives her a deeper understanding of the topography of the United States, which will help her then abstractly think about that in the future. When she goes to recreate her map at the end of the school year, she can draw on this memory and this experience and have a fuller understanding of why the United States looks the way that it does. Another important 21st century skill that we often hear about that students are expected to be able to collaborate with each other, to work as a team, and a good student coming out of school should have a good ability to work with each other. We have middle school trips in the fall, which are intended to work exactly on this skill. Our sixth graders each fall go to Camp Onus. Our seventh graders go to Peak in the Poconos, the Pocono Environmental Education Center, and our eighth graders go to Wallops Island. These trips are not just environmental science learning opportunities, but important team building and group work activities as well. What you see here is a group of students actually working together on an activity intended to build trust. Our class trips are placed at the beginning of the school year, as this really gives the students an opportunity to team build and get to know each other outside of the classroom before the school year starts. That's really a look at our classroom experiences today, and again, it's just a sampling of things going on. As a school, though, we continue to reflect on ourselves and what we do and find ways to incorporate new best practices, new thoughts, and see how they fit for us. For next year, then, what we're thinking about is technology is one area. Specifically, we think about how best to incorporate the variety of tools that are available to us and our students so that we are integrating contemporary and traditional education. We really do look to provide the best resources that we can within our budget and ensure that the tools further our goal to nourishing inquiry in students, sharing knowledge, and instilling really strong learning habits. We've recently announced a one-to-one iPad program for the fall for our middle school students, which would provide each middle schooler and teacher with an iPad, allowing the teacher to really integrate into their classroom curriculum a variety of new and exciting applications available. We are fundraising and grant writing as a way to support the launch of this program, but we're really excited by this opportunity to bring this to our students for the future. We will have a parent preview of this program in May, and we'll be able to answer all of your questions at that time. Also for next year, Teacher Shaner is bringing a new perspective to physical education. While we've always had a physical education program that encourages activity and healthy bodies, Teacher Shaner is working to bring adventure learning to Friends School, which is a physically active program that also encourages team building, self-confidence, and groups working together to achieve success. He can provide more information, but also know that we are actively fundraising for this through our auction, spring auction, which will be held May the 4th. It will be our funded item, and parents will have an opportunity to contribute to this adventure learning course during that time. On the curriculum side, we're continuing our focus on language arts. We have a language arts committee that continues to drive the school's work, and individual teachers continue to adapt and change to meet their classroom needs. These are just a few of the examples and methods used by our teachers in the language arts area. I expect that this will continue in the focus next year as we continually reflect on language arts and look to make sure that our students leave appropriately prepared for their next school in high school. So really, if we think of the state of the school from our classroom and student perspective, it is in fact quite strong. I'd like to take you now back to our 1969 brochure. Earlier we noted that the page in the brochure said that we're a safe place for everyone to thrive, and that is still true today. The outcome then of a school with that as a value is that our students feel secure in themselves. This page in the brochure says, "We've not tried specifically to develop concert pianists or aerospace microbiologists so far. We concentrate instead on teaching truth, on the liberal arts, on enriching exposure to as much of this exciting world as our money and imagination will allow. We try to create an atmosphere of freedom, love, and respect for humanness within the generous Quaker view of things." That was true in 1969, and it's still true in 2012. The good news is that when you have a school with values like this, and you've been around since 1969, we can actually look to our graduates and alumni who are now young adults and adults and know that we've helped a lot of them to achieve their individual goals along the way by providing that strong foundation. One worry that I sometimes hear from families along the way since I'm in admissions is what's next really for their child. How will their child fare academically or socially in high school, in college? How will they fare in their adult lives? I have here just a few reflections of alumni to give you a sense for what our alumni do next. What I can tell you is that our graduates leave Friends School and they are confident, They're comfortable with their knowledge and with their self, and also with what their skills and abilities are, and they emerge successful with their chosen career path. As reflected on the prior picture, our graduates included successful entrepreneurs, a musician, an engineer, a pastry chef, a dancer, an athlete, and teachers, among so many other successful graduates from Friends School. Of course, it's really just a sampling. The wonderful part, though, is that it reflects the diversity of our student body today. We're not a school just of athletes or artists. We really have dancers and future engineers among us. We focus on meeting each child's needs and helping them to succeed. And in closing, I'd like to leave you with this quote. We as parents sometimes worry about what a child will become tomorrow, yet we forget that he is someone today. At Friends School, we focus on who they are today. We are a pre-K through 8th grade school. We're focused on the elementary and middle school years, and we do that quite well. We are really an important part of your child's educational journey, and I'd like to share, as I've shared with you, the state of the school is very solid. We're a special place with a really strong today and an even brighter tomorrow, but we do need your continued support. Parents often ask what they can do to help the school, and I'd like to share 3 thoughts with you as I'm closing. One is that most of our admissions visitors come by way of referral from our current families, so I encourage you to refer your friends who you feel would be appropriate for the school and suggest that they might also want to have this experience for their students. Secondly, re-enrollment, which we're in re-enrollment season right now in March, is really an important part of helping the school to plan for next school year and the future. I encourage you, if you've not done so, to send your re-enrollment in for your students so that we can accurately plan for next year. And finally, please take a moment at some point to thank your teachers and let them know that the work that they do with our children is important and appreciated. Our faculty and staff are really those that make what happen in the classroom every single day such a special experience for all. I thank you for your time and for listening, and please feel free to contact me if you have any further questions. I can be reached at Reaves, which is BREAVES, at friendsmh.org. Thank you.